Welcome, y'all.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Tam.
How are you?
I'm in my happy place. I'm fabulous.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
And we are wearing fancy bracelets because we're going to go to a festival.
That's right. She likes to say the word festival. We're not going to a concert. We're going to a festival.
It's lots of concerts.
It is lots of concerts.
Anything new you want to tell the listeners?
Bought a house.
Nice.
Closing next Friday. 7 more days.
Congratulations.
Now I got to get home and pack. But no, I'm over here going to a festival with you guys.
Hey, packing, you can pack later, right?
I can pack later. This is more fun.
Okay. Are you ready for a story?
I'm ready when you are.
1999 is when this story's going to end.
Okay.
So, some things going on in 1999. Boris Yeltsin resigned as president of Russia, leaving Prime Minister Vladimir Putin as the acting president.
Ooh, if only we could have foretold the future.
Yes. Okay. Ontario Highway 401 crash occurs and involved 87 vehicles and killed 8 people.
Ooh, I don't remember that.
I didn't either when I looked this up. Regis Philbin introduced Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, really? That was from 99?
99.
Wow.
Lastly, dozen eggs. Take a stab.
49 cents.
$1.08.
Okay, well, I was halfway there.
Gallon of gas.
Ooh, 99.
$1.17.
Yeah, I paid 85 cents because I lived in Georgia. That's the lowest I've ever paid for gas in my entire existence. It was 85 cents a gallon.
Wow. Wish we could go back to those days.
No kidding.
We are going to Indiana's Vincennes University. Hopefully I'm saying it right.
Close to where I was raised up.
It's spelled way different than they say it.
Vincennes, I think, is...
Vincennes? Okay.
You're saying it right.
You'll have to correct
I
me.
think.
So we're going to start off with 19-year-old Brook Baker. She was a sophomore. She was a journalism major. She was excited for her new school year to start. She had grown up in Vincennes. Her apartment was across the street from the journalism building. That's convenient if it's your
Perfect.
major. Brooke was the editor of the campus newspaper. And she was always looking for stories. She wanted to move to New York eventually and work for Rolling Stone magazine.
Wow.
What an aspiration.
That's a cool goal.
September 7th, 1997, 9:34 p.m. A 911 call comes in from Brooke's address. Brooke's brother had found her in her bedroom. At first, he thought she was asleep. Then he realized something was wrong. The water was running in the bathroom.
That's weird.
And Brooke was nude on the bed. She had been stabbed to death.
It was the Wet Bandits.
Oh, was that from Dumb and Dumber?
No.
What was that from?
Home Alone.
Home Alone. That's it. The Wet Bandits. Okay.
Yeah.
So her family was devastated, obviously. Word spread quickly across campus about Brooke's death. She became a headline rather than the one writing the headline.
Oh.
So she had stab wounds to the breast and back. The house was very cluttered, so the detectives couldn't tell, like, if there was a struggle, you know.
If she was just a messy person.
Yes.
Or if there was...
There was no signs of forced entry. The bathtub was filled with water and towels. The kitchen sink was full of water.
Again, it's the Wet Bandits.
It's the Wet Bandits.
Oh, my goodness.
So in the kitchen sink with the water, they found scissors, knives, a bottle of cleaning solution. All that stuff's like in the water in the sink. So next they start canvassing the neighborhood. They don't get any leads from any neighbors or anything like that. So let's talk about her last day alive.
Okay.
Saturday, September 6th. She had a full social calendar. At 3 p.m., she met a friend named Stephen Hoffman. They hung out for a few hours and went to Subway.
Typical 19-year-old.
Have you seen that documentary on the Jared, the Subway guy?
No.
Oh
I
my
need
gosh,
to watch it.
yeah.
He's a fruitcake.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's way worse than I thought it was. When I watched this documentary, I couldn't believe it.
You'll have to remind me to watch it.
Okay. After Subway, Brooke and Stephen went their separate ways. 7 p.m., Brooke met up with another friend, Biff Elliott. Biff went by her house and they walked to a concert together. They went to a festival, I guess.
Did they have a wristband that
Right.
never comes off?
That never comes off. 9 p.m., the concert was over. Biff dropped Brooke off at a party on 2nd Street, not far from her house. Tommy Williams was at the party, and this was actually a guy that Brooke like kind of had a crush on.
Okay.
These other guys that she's hung out with, I got the feeling that they were just friends,
Okay.
guy friends. So between 10 and 10:30, Tommy and Brooke went to another party that was hosted by the university soccer program. To be young and go to all these
had
parties,
a day. Wow.
parties.
Everything happened that day.
12:30 a.m., Tommy and Brooke left the soccer party place and headed to Brooke's house.
Dun, dun, dun.
1 a.m., a campus police officer sees them passing the student union. That was the last time anybody saw Brooke alive. Side note, the campus police officer is also Brooke's landlord.
Interesting.
And apparently Brooke had complained to friends that this guy creeped her out. The police officer / landlord.
The landlord, yeah.
He would show up in her house. He would shine a flashlight in her windows.
No.
His name was Mike Nardine. One time, Brooke came out of the shower and he was sitting on her couch.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I'd be moving.
He even suggested they exchange sex for rent. I have no words.
Ick.
Yeah. But as far as we know, Brooke never reported him to anybody, never reported it, but she did tell her family and friends about him.
Okay. Good for her.
So, of course, detectives want to talk to Officer Nardine. He comes in for questioning. He took a polygraph. It was inconclusive.
I don't hold faith in polygraphs. They've come a long way. This was a while ago.
I think they can go either way. Like, they're not admissible in court, so we don't have to worry about that part of it. But inconclusive, to me, I don't know. I'd just be like, something's... If you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That they could discern.
So he repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. They collected his DNA. When the result... By the way, Brooke was raped.
Of course.
When the results came back from Brooke's rape kit, they compared it to Officer Nardine's DNA, and it didn't match.
Okay. I figured it couldn't have been him. You threw him in there right away.
Yeah.
And he's sketch, so...
So the police went back to the guys she spent the day with and going down the list, starting at 3 with Steve.
Biff.
Yeah, Steve, he went and interviewed with the police. He was cooperative, told, we have friends with benefits, type of relationship. But he was like, here's my DNA. I didn't do anything. His DNA didn't match.
Of course not.
And then 7 p.m. Biff, the concert, police talked to him. They were just friends. They didn't find anything strange about him. They got his DNA, not a match.
Other than his name.
Biff, yes. From the
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future movies.
See, I can remember all that,
Right.
but I can't remember what I did this morning.
Can't remember the password. You just
my
changed
password
your
for the 10th time.
So around 9 p.m., Tommy comes into the picture. Remember the party on 2nd Street? They talked to Tommy. He said he was with Brooke up until about 1:30 a.m. Then he left. He told police that they did have sex. And after he left, nobody could confirm where Tommy was. In fact, around 3 a.m., somebody saw him walking around campus. What the fuck are you doing walking around campus at 3 a.m.?
Oh, they're young,
I guess. The next person who can vouch for Tommy's whereabouts, 5 a.m., he was sleeping on a friend's couch.
So his DNA is going to show up. That doesn't mean he killed her.
His DNA was taken. His DNA was not a match to the rape kit.
Oh, wow.
So I was surprised by that.
Very surprising.
Did you really have sex? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
maybe he used a condom. Maybe. I don't know.
True.
I don't know. Police asked other men that were friends and acquaintances of Brooks to give DNA samples, and nothing matched. And they had a name for this DNA sample, like F137 or whatever.
Okay.
A year passed, nothing. The case went cold. Almost 2 years later, July 5th, 1999. So this was right after 4th of July weekend.
Mm-hmm.
A 911 call comes in for police to go to a woman's apartment. The woman is missing. When police arrived, they found a bathtub full of water.
Oh, here we go.
And couch cushions. Remember, the other one had towels in it. Blood was everywhere. It was a very bloody scene. The apartment was trashed. Like, they could tell there was a scuffle. There was some fighting going on. Stuff was everywhere. A broken lamp, like a ripped couch, like all this stuff. In the bedroom, there was more blood. Her closet was ransacked, but there was no signs of forced
I
entry.
wonder why they would ransack the closet. What the hell are
I
they
don't
looking
know.
for now? Guns or drugs or...
Well, here's the thing. There was cash out in the open. They didn't take that.
It was there.
There was a purse at the scene. They didn't take the purse. So, like...
Why are they in the closet?
Yeah, what were they looking for? I don't know. The purse contained the ID of Erika Norman. She was a 21-year-old sophomore at Vincennes University.
Okay.
Detectives talked to the neighbors who were able to trace time back to July 4th, 4 a.m. Neighbors heard banging and noises, but they didn't pay much attention. Around the same time, a couple across the street heard a scream. It's 4 a.m.
You hear a scream. You might want to call 911.
From what I understand, this is a college area and there's a lot of partying and carrying on.
Nighttime activities and noises.
And it was a Saturday morning at 4 a.m., July 4th, or whatever.
Oh, true.
So, July 4th at 4 p.m., a neighbor was walking by Erika's apartment and could hear loud running water through the door.
That must have been super loud then.
Yes.
How could you hear water?
July 5th, 7:25 a.m. The same neighbor passes back by Erika's apartment and could still hear the water running. So he tried the doorknob and the apartment was unlocked.
Oh, no.
He went in and he found the bathroom sink and the bathtub running at full blast.
Oh, goodness.
He turned off the water. He saw blood on the walls. He called the apartment manager. I would call 911.
Well, absolutely. Right then. Blood everywhere. The police need to be contacted.
Well, the apartment manager then called the police. Enter the 911 call I told you about for someone to come to this apartment because there's a person missing, a lady missing. Okay. There was blood in the bathroom. In the bathtub full of water, there was a duffel bag, a tote, and couch cushions.
That's a lot of stuff for a bathtub, but anyway.
But it's like, were they trying to get rid of some kind of evidence? Like what?
Does water destroy it, though? I don't think water would be enough to...
I wouldn't think so either. All right. Police at this point are starting to connect the scene between Brook
the two
and
murders.
the water stuff was too
Yes.
coincidental. They're like, this has to be the same person, that committed these two crimes. They searched the neighborhood for a body specifically, and they didn't find anything. So a little bit about Erika. She was fun-loving and outgoing. She spent time at the university radio station, WROK, The Rock.
There you go. There's your radio voice.
She was a DJ. Her best friend said Erika loved helping other people. Erika wanted to learn Spanish and help people in Honduras.
Okay.
Very noble.
I agree.
The investigators talked to friends, and no one had seen Erika since July the 3rd. So let's go back to that day and see what she was doing on her last day.
She probably had 5 social events on her calendar, too.
5:30 p.m., Erika left her apartment and drove to work. 6 p.m., she started her shift as a waitress. 10 p.m., Erika got off work. From there, she went to a bar with friends. Absolutely.
Perfect.
21, get off work at
10 o'clock,
head
time
to the
go
bar.
out.
3 a.m., the group at the bar called it a night. Erika invited all her friends to come to her apartment and watch a movie. The only person that went was Brian Jones.
That's a new name.
Who's Brian Jones?
Who is Brian Jones? We're about to find out.
The police talked to Brian Jones. On July 5th around 11 a.m., they get him in. They ask him about his background. They found out that he lives within 2 blocks of the university. He doesn't go to school there. He works in a factory. I think he's 22 at this point. I don't have that right here handy. He said that he saw Erika at the bar that night. They went back to her place. He and her started watching a movie. Erika fell asleep on the couch. He kind of woke her up and said, okay, I'm leaving.
Sure he did.
Covered her with a blanket and
Likely
left.
story.
She was fine when he left, he says. But then, and don't ask me how this came up during this interrogation or interview, Brian brought up the fact that his old roommate dated Brook Baker.
Oh, wow.
How does that just come up?
It doesn't, because people who are guilty give too much information.
They won't shut
They won't
up.
shut up.
So he's making him, he's like implicating himself in some kind of way, or
Exactly.
he's just stupid. I don't know. So like I told you, the police are already thinking Brook and Erika's cases are related. And then here he is, and he brings up that he knows Brook. So side note, the old roommate that dated Brook, they did get a DNA sample from him and it didn't match.
Okay, good.
Okay. So Brian Jones knew Brook Baker. Police asked if he had ever had sex with her. He said, no, I never slept with her. And he gave a DNA sample. He also turned over his clothes that he wore the night he was at Erika's apartment.
So if there was blood on them.
He was completely cooperative. But one of his shoes catches the eye of the detective. There is a small red stain on his shoe. Tiny.
But the whole apartment was covered in blood.
Yes.
So how would he get out with one drop?
I don't know. So they ship everything off to the lab and they let Brian go. They don't really have anything to hold Brian on at this point.
Right.
But they have his DNA, they have his clothes, they have the shoe with the red stain on it. So they're trying to determine if that red spot could be Erika's blood. But they need Erika's DNA to match it to. But there's no body.
Well, I know, but a hairbrush or a toothbrush, can't they?
Maybe all that shit was in the fucking bathtub in the water. I don't know. But they got her parents' DNA and did a reverse DNA thing to get, like, work backwards to Erika's DNA. So they were able to get it from
I
her
didn't know
two
you could even do that.
Yes.
That's some crazy stuff.
Yes. They compared the spot on Brian Jones's shoe to Erika's DNA, and it was a match.
Oh, busted.
Guess what else was a match? Brian's DNA was a match
From
to
the first murder.
Brook Baker's rape kit. July 13th. So they weren't, a week away from, a little 10 days maybe away from when this happened?
Yes.
July 13th, 1999, police arrested Brian Jones. He is 22 years old. I have it noted here. They arrested him for Brook's murder. They couldn't really arrest him for Erika's case. Because one little tiny spot of blood on your shoe does not a murderer make.
Well.
And they didn't have a body. So they got a break. July 20th, the police get a call from investigators in Illinois. Or Illinois, as my grandmother said.
Nope, there's no noise in Illinois. You know.
Erika's decomposing body was found in a cornfield. I thought corn was just Iowa. They grow it in Illinois.
Oh, it
too.
goes all the way across the Midwest. Yeah, I went to Cornfield High School, remember?
Oh, was that the name of your high school?
No, but it was out in the middle of 3 cornfields, and that's just what we called it. It was out in the country.
I thought that was the real name of it. I was like, I wonder how many cornfield high schools there are in the Midwest. Okay, so this body is badly decomposed, but her student ID was with her body.
Oh.
So they know that it's Erika. And where they found her was about a 10-minute drive from her apartment.
Well, you'd have to be really stupid because at some point you're going to harvest the corn or you're going to till it or do something, knock it down to make more land. So
I think what I remember from the documentary was the thought process of the killer was that it wasn't going to be harvested for quite a while.
Okay.
And that it was
might
just kind of in a
decompose.
phase where it was the corn was growing and you're just not really doing anything to it.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was found, but it was found. They couldn't, because it was so decomposed, they couldn't determine the exact cause of death. So police are like, we're going to search Brian Jones's car and his house and see if we can find, more than this little speck of blood on the shoe. In his shower, Erika's blood, because they matched it with DNA. In the trunk of his car, Erika's blood.
Because she was in there.
Yep. So now they can finally charge him with Erika's murder.
Good.
All right. So Brian went to trial for Brook's murder first. And his DNA is found in the rape kit under her fingernails and on her bed. So Brian...
He's cold busted on
Yeah,
that one.
because he said he never had sex with Brooke. He knew Brooke, but he never had sex with her. So there's back and forth between the prosecution and the defense. But of course, in the end, after only 5 hours of deliberating, the jury found Brian Jones guilty on all counts.
Good.
Okay. When it comes to Erika's case, Brian pled guilty.
On one drop, well, then they found other stuff in the car.
Yeah.
The shower.
And I guess because he was found guilty for Brooks first, maybe he was just like, I'm going to avoid the trial. Or maybe they did a thing where we won't sentence you to the death penalty, if you
plead guilty, yeah.
So eventually he was guilty for both, and he was sentenced to life in prison without parole. And he is in the Wabash Valley Level 3 facility in Indiana. And I looked it up and he's there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I wonder if he's listening right now.
I mean...
Motherfucker, burn in hell.
Eat a bag of dicks, Brian.
That's right.
Jones. So I watched Dateline The Last Day. It's a Dateline show, specifically focuses on the last day of somebody's life.
Oh, okay. I
to solve
seen
the
that
case.
yet. I'm a Dateline addict, but I don't know that one.
And one of the stories I did recently, it was Keith Morrison, who was the host of that episode.
Favorite.
I was like, oh, it was a quiet Midwest town, or was it? Okay, so Dateline The Last Day, Season 1, Episode 8, The Case of Brook Baker and Erika Norman. That was what I watched.
Okay.
I have a picture of both girls.
Oh, I don't like looking at the pictures.
So
it hurts my heart.
I don't know which way. Here we go. The top one, I need my microphone, is Brooke. And the bottom one is Erika, if you would like to see.
I hate this part.
Sweet baby angels.
Where's his ugly mug?
I didn't print a picture of him.
Good. Don't waste your ink. Yeah, they both look just like the girl next door.
Uh-huh.
Cute,
yeah, happy.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. You can leave it over there.
I hate people.
So,
I hate people.
That was a downer, but do you want to hear some funny laws?
Sure.
Okay.
Love these.
We are on Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, I went to Wisconsin every summer of my life, so you're probably not going to surprise me too much.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
At one time, margarine was illegal.
Okay, that's surprising.
They're the cheeseheads, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Cheese making requires a cheesemaker's license. Limburger cheese making requires a master cheesemaker's license.
A master's cheesemaker.
Did you know that one?
No.
Okay.
Limburger, though, that's the controversial one. You either hate it or you love it. There's no middle of the road.
But don't you feel like blue cheese is like that too?
I love blue cheese.
I don't. So does Harold, which, by the way, Harold's camera switching. Thank you, Harold.
We love you, Harold.
In St. Croix, Wisconsin, which makes it sound like a very tropical paradise, but I don't feel like that's Wisconsin. In St. Croix, women are not allowed to wear anything red in public.
Oh, well, then we can't go to the festival
in
St. Croix.
I was thinking that they don't have handmaids in St. Croix, Wisconsin. Okay. Don't know why they need this law. In Wisconsin, you are allowed to marry your house. Marry your house. I read that correctly.
Well, there would be a lot less arguing in a marriage if you married your house.
If your house can't speak, then you can't cause an
Maybe it's a
argument.
smart house.
Oh, yeah. After 3 a.m., you have to send a rocket signal in the air after every mile you drive.
Like a bottle rocket?
Is it like one of those guns that shoots flares?
That's a lot of flares every mile. Here I come. I'm coming home. Coming in hot.
Oh, your dad's just 2 more rockets away from being home.
These can't be real.
Yeah.
They can't be real.
In Wisconsin, it is illegal to cut a woman's hair or kiss on a train.
Can't cut hair or kiss.
On a train.
Just on a train.
Yeah. And finally, in Racine, Wisconsin, hopefully I'm saying that right.
You are? Yes.
It is illegal to wake a fireman when he is asleep. So fuck your fire. If you're sleeping. If the fireman's sleeping, you're not going to get him up.
Even the alarm going off, you can't.
I'm assuming not.
Sound the alarm?
I guess not.
I wonder what your fine is if you wake up a sleeping fireman.
I mean, I would take the fine if my house was on fire.
Exactly.
You know. So the very last one's Wyoming. So we're going to leave that for the next episode.
Okay.
And then I'll have to figure out what the hell I'm going to say funny after these terrible stories after Wyoming is done. So if you like that story and you want to help the show, go to Patreon/grits, Patreon/grits, where you can pledge a small fee and we will give you some goodies and you will be supporting the show and helping us out.
Perfect.
And let's see, go to our Grits group on Facebook. We also have a Grits page on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We are being recorded as we speak. So if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast hosting site, you can go to YouTube and see what our faces look like. All right. Anything else?
Let's go to the festival.
All right. We love y'all. Tell your mom and them to listen, and we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.